So just going very quickly, maybe we could start then. This is meant to be a really practical webinar. So basically, we would just go through a brief intro to the event, not wanting to make you lose that much time, but to remind you of what's the purpose of this event, and due to this, why should we be committed to doing a few things in this platform as well. And then we will go through the steps that are important for you to participate in the event on Thursday, because some of you may have already gone there and may have already done your job, let's say. Some of you may still haven't been able to, for instance, to publish your vacancies, to take a look at the eventually the applicants that you might have, etc. So we're going to have a little visit to the platform so that you can also ask your questions if you have some. And then interview scheduling, how to set up an interview in the platform, where should you go? On the event day, where should you go when you want to join an interview with an applicant, with a job seeker? Also, some technical issues, which because of course, when we're talking about platforms, some last-minute issues always arise. So we would like to let you know that there are a few things you can check before the event starts, so that your experience with the interviews is better. Also letting you know that you have the possibility to chat on the day with the participants, even if they haven't applied to your jobs. And this is also one of the ways to get sometimes the best applications, because they are more informed due to the chat that they've had with you on your stand. So and as well, imagine that you're not the only one representing your company on the day. We will also show you how you can register new company users to join you on the day, because it's a much simpler process than the process to create a new company. Okay, and some room for you to ask us questions about all of this. Okay, and since we're not that many, I would say maybe I would prefer, if you wouldn't mind, that you would raise your hand if you have a question and want to speak. And I would also ask you, while we're going through the first little demo, I would also ask you, I will probably take the initiative to deactivate your sound for a while, but whenever you want to speak, turn on your microphone, okay? So I will do this.
No problem. Thank you.
So going back to what the event is all about. Actually, this event came out in 2017 already. So we are already heading to the 6th edition of this event. And it was initially started because, well, EURES is, you know, a network which is cooperating at the European level. It is made of 31 countries, the 27 EU member states, and Norway, Iceland, Liechtenstein, and Switzerland. And in this network, we integrate employment services, and not only, also other members and partners for this network, universities, chambers of commerce, employers associations, etc., who are aimed at improving the functioning of the labor market at the European level by promoting and facilitating mobility of workers. This is why we exist. And what we faced in Europe around this time, so after the crisis, we started recovering, and all of the Southern Europe countries, we already were touristic countries, but of course, the things started to get better, and we started having shortages, all of us, when it came to the season. But you know better than me what's happening in the sector, so you know what was the problem. And the fact that we tried to promote events on a singular basis, an event for Croatia, an event for Slovenia, for Portugal. We are very small countries. I'm not talking about Italy, which is a very big country, but we are very small countries. So we thought that if we gathered our efforts and tried to promote something at the European level within the network, we would be able to reach more people and reach more job seekers as well, in order to meet the needs, the recruitment needs of our employers. And this is why these 9 countries, Portugal, Spain, India and France on the second year, Italy, Greece, Cyprus, Malta, Croatia, and Slovenia have joined to organize this event. And this is a recruitment event, but we also provide information on living and working conditions, on what job seekers should consider when moving to these countries, on how to find a job if they haven't found the job on the event day, and so on. So this is also the role for EURES within the event, and also providing information on some mobility schemes, some supports we can help the job seekers with, and eventually some companies as well, within this moving process. This event is focused on tourism, entertainment, hospitality, catering, and customer service. And this is why we are usually not accepting employers who are coming from other areas, okay? And we have already talked a little bit about it, about the goals, so I'm not going through them again. What do you have as a company in this event? What can you do with this platform? You can post jobs and gather applications from all of these countries, and sometimes it goes a bit further because, of course, their country nationals also have access to the web and to the website, and so we will probably also have third country nationals applications. You can gather and pre-select applications in the platform. By pre-selecting these applications, you can invite job seekers for interviews on the platform, okay? There is a scheduling system which allows you to, when inviting a job seeker, of course, I suppose the matching of availabilities is a time-consuming process when you're trying to schedule meetings, interviews with job seekers. So the system does this automated matching. You state from the very beginning what are your availabilities, in which slots are you available to interview, and then you invite job seekers, okay? And once job seekers confirm their interest to participate in an interview, they will select from your availability for the dates, and the system blocks automatically the slots that they select. So you will have an agenda of interviews organized by the platform itself, okay? What do you also have? The possibility to chat via video with these potential applicants. You don't need to use applications from outside the platform. So you don't need to use Skype, you don't need to use Teams, you don't need to use Zoom. You can use indeed the video chat software, which is embedded in the platform, which is Jitsi. It's called Jitsi. It may not be very sophisticated, but it allows you not to have a big identification. So on the day you work on that platform, it allows you to access all of these applicants. And then you can set up and conduct interviews on the platform as well. Also, this video chat application that we have serves a double purpose. You can conduct your interviews on the event days in this Jitsi, but you can as well, this is also serving as your channel of communication to the job seekers virtually. Since we are not in a physical stand, an on-site stand, the way for you to get in touch visually and in live voice with these job seekers is for you to use as well this cheat sheet. And you will see within the platform that it is easily accessible. And then, of course, also, we are not talking a lot about them today because, but I have Bernadetta here who may help me if there is a need. But there is the possibility for us to support job seekers and employers with some financial supports, let's say, depending on the duration of the contracts you are proposing to the job seekers. And this is, of course, an event which is seasonal. Usually our supports are mostly available for contracts of 6 months and more for jobs. Eventually, if you are proposing a traineeship, it can have a duration of 3 or more months, correct, Bernadetta? Yes? Yeah. So this is what you can have from this event, okay? And then depending on whether you are a small or medium-sized company, you may eventually also have access to a direct support to the company. But let's not complicate it too much, because what we want to see today is mostly the platform and how you can use it, okay? And this, of course, everything free of charge. So what we're asking you is, and we are going through some of these tools right now, to try to, and we ask this from you, not because we love to have a beautiful platform, but because it's in your interest, actually. So the company profile is your face, is your stand, actually, regarding the job seekers. And if we are having difficulties attracting workers nowadays, attracting collaborators, I think that we have all interest in being as appealing as possible to attract them. So we should invest a little time in improving our company, and it's really not that difficult as the platform is. Then regarding the jobs, very important, only by registering jobs in the platform can you invite job seekers for an interview. You won't be able in this platform to search on a CV database, let's say. Job seekers need to apply, also due to GDPR issues. I think you are very much acquainted to them nowadays, to data protection issues. So what is happening is that unless you have jobs posted on the platform, you won't have applications and you won't have direct access to the job seekers' contacts. Okay, so this is why it's also very important to post the jobs as soon as possible. And within the jobs, of course, we would prefer to have the jobs available in English, because this is an event which, as you may have understood, is aimed at promoting mobility within Europe among all of these countries. It doesn't mean, of course, that you cannot get access to job seekers from your countries, and we will, as public employment services, also be very glad if you find the job seekers you need, the workers you need in our own country. But this is one of the reasons why we would prefer you to have the information both in the company profile and in the jobs in English. And then we know all of us are very busy. We know you most of all, so are we a little bit. But we have assigned you with contact points within the organization, and we are there available to help you. So please, when someone from our team contacts you, please try to be responsive, even if you don't have the complete answer, or if it's just a short mail saying, well, I can't at this moment, or I need help, for instance, posting the jobs or so on. Interact with us. We are there to help. So if you provide us with information, we are really there to help. Of course, the more it gets to the date of the event, the more complicated it becomes, because we don't have that much time as well. So This is why we keep on insisting with you with newsletters, with emails by EURES advisors, and now with this webinar. Another important thing is that this is as well, we can say that it is a job board on one hand, but it is not aimed at, you should not see it, because we also have the EURES portal where you can have job vacancies promoted all year round, okay? This platform is really aimed at having events on certain dates. And within this sense, we would really like you to invest a little, engage a little on the event, and at least try to be available for a couple of hours minimum during the event day, because this means that if the job seekers can reach you, it is much more likely that they will apply to your vacancies in a more motivated way and well-informed way. Otherwise, we cannot forbid them to apply to any vacancy without even, there are some parachuters who are trying to apply to any job, and of course this is not the best way to do so. So we would like you to try to have some online availability on the day, and to promote this availability as well on your stand, and namely under the contact details ideally, okay? And again, feedback. You also like feedback. Job seekers like feedback. We EURES also like feedback, because it's true, this event is free of charge. Our only payment is to know how things went for you, and how can we improve for the future. So really, to start with, we cannot understand whether this event is heading into the direct correction and serving your purposes if you don't provide us with feedback on how many interviews you had. These ones we can see in the platform, but how many people have you offered a job? How many people did you hire in the end, and so on? And also, if things didn't go that well, or if things went well, provide us with feedback so that we can adjust things for the future. Okay, so let me stop sharing. Let me stop sharing this presentation, because this is something you should take a look at, but we will share the presentation with you afterwards. But I will share my screen instead, because I would like, no, you don't want to see my agenda. Okay. So that you have an idea on the event, how is it going at the moment? So you can see other countries are also promoting events. Oh, this is the training platform, sorry. Okay. You could see here something which is, okay, you can see here that we have our event at the moment. And we are having at the moment 174 exhibitors right now, out of which 163 are employers, companies. And at the moment, just a curiosity, we have 354 jobs. I can tell you that this morning, only half of the companies had registered jobs. So this is why we're also insisting a lot on this. And on the day of the event, this is the program that we will be having, which you can watch even if you're not registered. You will have a window here, which will be showing the streaming of the program, and also a window with the chat. Job seekers can interact with people, with the speakers. We have decided for a while not to have company presentations in the program for one simple reason. Due to the number of companies participating, it would be impossible. So this is why also it becomes even more important that you do the best in your company profile. Okay. You try to, so this is a testing platform, so I will use this one to show you how things can work. And apologies if I have to resort to a little table, but let's go in. And I will log in as an exhibitor. Okay. I will use, because I'm assuming that you have already registered, otherwise you wouldn't be here. And I'm going to use, you didn't see this, sorry, not here. Yeah. Okay. Okay, I'm going to log in as an exhibitor, just like if I were you. Okay, and I'm registered in these two events, so I'm going to use one of them. Actually, I have already participated, most likely in Seize the Summer, but Seize the Summer in this case is already passed. But let's register, for instance, in tourism and hospitality jobs. This is my event, which is coming for the future. Okay, you can see the event is here. And I want, first of all, to improve my company profile. Sorry. Okay. You have your actually, sorry. I go to my dashboard, sorry. And if you go to the menu on the left, you can see you have several options. If I want to improve my profile, I go to edit my organization. Okay, I'm IKEA apparently. And let's imagine I would like to, for instance, add some contact details or add some presences on social media, for instance. You can see here what you can do. Actually, this company is already having quite a lot, but let's imagine we would like to add as well LinkedIn, for instance. What we use is this section of websites. You can add another URL. And you can even, for instance, have a little Word document with you with the relevant information you like to add. And we would suggest you, when you see here link text, it's the label which will arise on the profile. So we would place LinkedIn. It doesn't make sense for you to repeat the name of the company because you're already on the company's profile. So, and you can add as many links as you want. For instance, if you have a careers page, you can also add it here. Okay. Okay, we will see how it shows up as well in the platform. Then this is the contacts, the website section, but you can see that in the organization description, you can as well edit the text. You can add hyperlinks. You can include, for instance, if you want a bar to separate something. For instance, if you decide to have the content in Portuguese and in English or in Italian, you can do this and separate the content. You have bullets, so many options to improve your profile. And then the most important thing, since you don't have that much time up until the event, is to go straight to the media gallery. And in the media gallery, you can add more than one video, or alternatively, you can also add images. So imagine you, for instance, have a testimonial from a collaborator working with you and who is a really good testimonial for the job seekers you want to attract. You can click here, add video. You can copy I will use this link now. You can copy the link here. Okay. And what will happen So it's there already. For instance, if I want to add an image, I can as well add an image. And in the case of an image, I can upload it. Let's imagine I would put this one. Okay. Okay. And what will happen? Now we will see the profile after this, and you will see the images and the videos appear on a carousel. And you didn't take that long. The only thing you have to know as well, the reason why this mask appears on your videos is because YouTube, and actually we can only use YouTube or Vimeo videos here, is an external party. And so you have to authorize to go there. And you can see here we have a video, right? But you have two options, and we have added two videos, so we can navigate between the videos to see them here. Okay, and this one is different, as you can see. Regarding the company profile, I think I forgot to an important thing you should know, and I forgot to do, and this is also why it's important that it happened. Don't forget, once you make the changes, to save them in the end. Otherwise, you won't see the changes in your page, okay? So now, if I had added them here, they would show up here. And the same thing here, you would see LinkedIn here as well, okay? But it's better that you include it as it is than to put the long links visible, and this way they go straight to the Instagram page or whatever, and it's also working. The other thing that we were mentioning regarding your availability on the day, you can, under the edit profile, you can add the information about your availability under the contact details. So for instance, I'll also chat with us from 10 till 3 o'clock Central Europe time, for instance. And this way people know that you will be available in the morning for the event, something like this. And you can use the bold to highlight it, do the best you can here. Regarding the hot jobs, a very important thing you should know about this. This is not the real registration of jobs, even though it might seem very, very simple. This should be used for you to highlight the profiles you are recruiting. So imagine it's cook, entertainer, waiter. Okay, you provide visibility to the in a very quick way. People can know what kind of profiles you are looking for, but it's not here that you should promote your vacancies. In order for you to promote a vacancy, you go to My Jobs. Oh, let me save. Otherwise, again, what will happen is that it won't show up. You can see how it has showed up, the hot jobs. Sorry. Going back to the dashboard. Your dashboard is your area for work. My Jobs. If I want to add a job, for instance, if you have participated in events in previous years and the profile is really similar, you can as well go here, for instance, and clone a vacancy. It's an interesting setting. So you can clone the vacancy. It will be automatically associated to the new event. It fills in the fields which were already filled in the previous vacancy, and you can change here the event to which the job vacancy will be assigned, and record it. Okay, and this way it will show up on the event that you will be participating in. This is the easiest way, and namely for those who have already participated in previous editions. For those of you who are participating for the first time or have to create new jobs, it's easy, more or less. Add a new job here. You can see this button, the yellow button down here. Forget about this part, it's mostly for importing vacancies from the EURES portal. In principle, it won't be your case. Here, you can add your job title, entertainer. You can add your job summary, so you can copy paste easily as well from the descriptions you already have for the vacancy. You can change the date of expiry. Let's imagine by default, this date appears as almost 2 months after the event. But if you want to close your recruitment process, for instance, by the end of April or by the end of March, you can change the date here. Also important for us, and I would say for you, please don't forget to fill in the number of positions. There are a couple of companies who have some tendency to delete because they don't exactly know what will be the number of people they will be recruiting, but at least add one. It's not so important because otherwise they won't count for the numbers of the vacancies which are being promoted. It's counting as 0 to start with. And it's also not so nice that you go to a vacancy and you have 0 positions and you are promoting a vacancy with 0 positions. I don't know exactly what job seekers will think about it. So try to have it as close as possible to what's your estimate of the number of people you are thinking of hiring, but at least one. Okay. The type of position, you can come here and select as many as applicable. For instance, if it's an internship, if it's seasonal, if it's full-time, none will disappear once you record it, okay? So, and then here you can also have include information on the salary. Unfortunately, it's still not having the period during which the salary is paid for, but we will assume that it is monthly in principle. Job requirements, and then here you come to the characteristics of the platform. As you can of the position. As you can see, these fields are not mandatory. So you would eventually, if you prefer, you don't have that much time, you can use the summary to include the whole description, and you could stay by the job summary. That one is mandatory, but here you could disaggregate a little bit more. What is a must-have? So job requirements. What is a nice to have? What would be a plus for your position? And the conditions you are offering. And this field is very, very important. Don't forget you are competing with other companies to start with. Don't forget you're trying to attract people who are coming from other countries to your own as well. And this means that it will be important that you include some information on what you can offer. And it's not mandatory, of course, but what you can offer in terms of accommodation, in terms of meals, in terms of the support you can provide to the job seekers, because we're talking about jobs which in principle be short in time, and it doesn't give them time to organize all of those things, finding accommodation and so on, all by themselves. So at least they would need some support from you, at least in the finding. Then information about the vacancies, so that we can associate it to a few fields, namely education, language skills, very important. You can also, so you can add as many as you want. If you want someone from Azerbaijani, you can include Basque, fair. Okay, so you can see, can include more than one. Namely, for instance, if you want people who know at least some Italian, you can do so, but allowing, for instance, that the working language will be the English, but having some basis of Italian so that they communicate with the rest of the team. For instance, if we're talking about Italian companies, regarding the required ESCO skills, you can add here, if you search, for instance, customer advice customer, you'll get a list of all the skills that include customer, okay? And you can select and add as many as you want. Occupation field, sometimes this one is difficult and it is a mandatory field. If you have doubts, maybe you could confirm with your contact points which one should you place. But I would say, having into account many of you work for the accommodation and food and beverage sector, it should be here somewhere. Actually, no, at the moment is not showing up, but in the real basis it will show up. Okay. But for instance, let's imagine it's customer service, you can select. Also, work experience, you can select it or not. If it is required, you should select it and choose the option which is more relevant to you. Up to 1 year, from 1 year to 2 years, and so on. Okay. And finally, almost finally, are there any restrictions that may apply to this job offer? What is this field all about? Let's imagine, for instance, that you are having difficulties also due to the time to recruit people who are coming from third countries, or you want to show in your vacancy that you will only be accepting applications from people who are authorized to work in your country. Okay, so in this case, you will select yes, and you should write something about it here. Okay, it's not only usable for visa issues, not only usable for this situation, but this is the reason why this option arose. But there may be other restrictions you have in terms of accepting people, as long as they are not illegal, not as they abide by your law in your country, you can add it here. Okay. And you also have the possibility to add links and attachments regarding the details of the vacancy. And the last field I would like to show you your attention to is this last one. Okay, I would like to have the applications in this platform for this event. It will always, they will always stay in this platform, but you also have the chance, if, for instance, your recruitment process is including a workflow which forces the job seekers to register in your own platform, or if you still want to receive these applications as well by email, you can do so. You can add an email here, and people, once they click on the on the apply button, they will also see they have to send a mail to that mail. Or you can add the URL of the landing page where you want them to apply here, and they will be referred as well to that link once they click on applying. But you will always have their applications here in the platform, okay? And the reason why we need this is because this is the only way for you to be able to go here under job applications and check. This is a testing platform, reminding you of that, and check on the applications that you might have pending here. At the moment, actually, all of them were scheduled. But if you had, for instance, people who have applied to your jobs and you haven't checked on the applications yet, they will show up listed here. This tab invited is those candidates who you already have invited for an interview, but they haven't answered yet. Okay. This one is the list of people you have declined. Not so many today. And this one scheduled is the tab where you will find the interviews for which the job seeker has already confirmed attendance and chose a slot to participate in the event. Okay. And after this, this only happens because beforehand, here under interview time slots, you have defined the time for your availability. Okay. You can see, for instance, for CISA Summer with EURES, let's imagine, you can click here under set time slots. Okay. And on the day, you will, for instance, be available from 9 o'clock in the morning, Central Europe time, let's imagine. So you can add a few slots here. Okay. But you can also, and this is the case for this event, this corresponds to the truth. We have extended the period for you to invite job seekers up until the 13th of March. So even though the open event will only take place on the 9th, if you want to invite job seekers, namely those you have contact during the day for an interview on the 10th or on the 13th, and eventually if it's important both for you and for them, and for some reason they cannot make it during the week, you also have the possibility to schedule on Saturday or Sunday. We wouldn't advise you to do so, but anyway, it's available. But you can go here and add some slots on the 13th as well. Okay. And you can see these has numbers. I wouldn't like to complicate it too much, but if, for instance, you have more than one person interviewing at the same time, you can have more than one slot. Okay. So for instance, you can have 2 people interviewing during this period. There's a possibility for you to assign each interviewee to the interviewer, so to the person who will be speaking to him separately. Okay, regarding, on a very quick way, this is the part for the scheduling of interviews. Then when you come to the day, when you come to the event day, how will you join an interview? You have this option here, join a job interview. As you can see here, conducting online jobs, it has a small explanation on how it works. So you can take a look here. And please, if there are any questions, I cannot see the chat at the moment. So if, could you please be verbal, or some of my colleagues might help me, please. But as you can see here on the day, you have the possibility. Guillermo, yes?
No raised hands and no questions in the chat.
Okay.
You can go on.
Okay. So you can see here, you go to job applications, you selected the scheduled tab on the day, and you find here join chat. Okay. And you have some other options here. Now you cannot see them because it's just an image, but you have some other options here. So eventually you can schedule, cancel for some reason, or you can contact the job seeker if he, for some reason, is not showing up. It will be sending him an email or a notification. So you have several options here. This is for interviews on the days. Okay. You will also have under the scheduled possibility. Let me just show you here. Under the schedule tab. This is a bit annoying, but it's a testing platform. You can see you have a list of candidates. If you come here and export the data, you will have an Excel file. Where did you go now? You will have an Excel file, trust me, which you can download. Okay, and you can see, for instance, okay, I will just open so that you can see that you have all the agenda of the interviews there. So it's very easier for you to handle. Of course, here we have data for testing, but you would see that easily. You will have the name of the job seeker, his email as well, just in case he doesn't show up. It has some matching profile based on the algorithms that we have in the platform, and you have the date and the time of the interview. So you can even use this and add a column with comments or so whatever you want to register the comments you might have from the job seeker. Okay, for you. Okay, so this was something I would like to show you. And the last thing is in the platform now, join chat with job seekers. So on the event day, let's imagine you didn't have that many applications when you get to the day, but you'd like to be available to contact with job seekers. What you can do, you come here to join chat with job seekers, and here you will get into Jitsi, the so-called video chat application that you have. You click in there. I will just get in, then I cannot show you exactly how it will work because it's, but this will be the layout that you will be having. You can add the chat here, the chat panel here, just by clicking on this button of the balloon. You can click on your camera. This won't be working right now because I'm already using my camera for Teams. And I can as well activate my microphone. And as you can see in the Jitsi platform, the microphone is being recognized. If I tried to use my camera, probably I would disappear from this meeting, so maybe better not. And you can also have a panel of the participants. So this is very much similar to what we have in Teams, in Zoom, but in different places. And you will find it here, and you'll find it in your own language if I'm correct. So it will not be in Portuguese, it will be in Italian or in English or in whatever language you are using. And you can as well, here under this chat, you can invite someone for a meeting. So for instance, if you found someone's contact, or you would like to invite someone to chat with you, you can click in here. You copy the link to your chat and send it to the person. Or eventually you can as well share it even in your profile if you want to make sure people get in. In any case, just letting you know that on the event day, you will see that if you go to the event platform, to the event dashboard, sorry. I promised to shut up in the next 2 minutes. Okay. If you go here to the exhibitors, this is not to the exhibitors panel. On the event day, if you get in a company or a country profile, you will have a yellow button here down, just like the one we saw for the ad job. Where you can click to join the chat with this company. Okay. And here you can see, for instance, a company which hasn't made use of the possibilities it had to improve her profile, right? So no videos, no images, very scarce information about the company, and so on. Okay. I think I went through the main applications, but actually I will now stop. I will close the chat and I will stop sharing my screen for now. I just wanted to cover the main tools that you have available within the platform. But in any case, I suppose there will be questions from your end. I can see some concerned faces or a little bit lost faces. So we are here to help, and this is also why we saved some time for questions. And therefore, I would like to ask you if you have any questions, please raise your hand and turn on your microphone and move on, please. We just prefer to use the raise your hand so that no one. I can see that you're not very talkative today, but let's imagine we start having 3 or 4 people speaking at the same time. Maybe better not. I think it's Ioannis trying to speak.
No.
Ah, okay, sorry. But does anyone have a question about what you saw so far? No, so it's understandable. May I ask how many of you have already registered the vacancies, the jobs? Yes, okay. You can also raise your hand with the app, yes. Okay. I asked on the positive, of course, but for those of you who haven't done it, please, and namely, I will talk to the ones from Portugal in this case, but please feel free to contact us. In principle, you have already received an email, at least from one of us, and feel free to contact us should you have any difficulty using the platform to register the vacancies. It's really not so difficult because not all of the fields are mandatory. You can see that the job, adding a job, is a little bit very structured, but many of the companies are not mandatory as well. So it doesn't have to be that complicated, and we are here to help as well. If there is any needs, let us know. You can also send us the links. Of course, not if it's 20 vacancies, but if you're really having a difficult time and difficult agenda, we are here as well to help. Okay.
I have a question. Can I do a question, please?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. So 9th of March, we have some interviews.
If you select some job
Yes,
seekers, you already have it. Yeah.
Yes, I
have it.
select. I have plenty of interviews. I have around 20, if I remember well.
Oh, good.
Okay. So now, what is the procedure? We don't contact straight the candidates. Just we do the interview there. When the interview, we do the interview, and we are positive with the specific person. How we will follow up?
Well, you'll do your own thing to start with. So you will follow up with the job seeker. You keep on with the procedure of hiring as you would have in a different situation. Of course, let's imagine it's someone from another country. We would advise you to let the job seeker know that he may have some. Imagine it's a contract of 6 months or higher. If
Yes,
it would be
correct.
Yeah. We would advise you, Ioannis, let me ask you, you are from Cyprus, from Greece?
From Cyprus.
Sorry for the, just because of the name. Yeah, so...
No, I am Greek, but I am in Cyprus, yes.
Exactly. But maybe you could advise the job seeker to get in touch with EURES in their own country so that we could help them with some supports, because they can apply, for instance, when they move to your country, they can apply to a relocation support if you're not providing that support, and it can still be. It's not a big thing, but it can still be around 1,000 euros for them to move to your country. So in the very beginning, it may be helpful. There are also other supports regarding language learning and so on. So you could refer them to us. But regarding the whole process of hiring, should you have any questions about what you have to bear in mind when you are recruiting someone from abroad, you can also resort to our EURES advisor colleagues in Cyprus, who have invited you to attend the event. I believe Maria Joaquin, Antonis Kaforos as well, and probably a couple more colleagues. And they will advise you as well on what you have to do for the whole process. But of course, within this process, bear in mind that it would be important that you would consider eventually some support to accommodation or helping at least the person and so on.
All the persons that we are bringing from outside, it will be accommodation with us. So that's not a problem, of course.
Yeah.
Just it's a little bit difficult because this time, I think in Greece it's also the same. The persons from third countries, not European Union persons, they need a visa application.
It happens in almost all of the countries here.
Yes.
Some are easier than others, but it happens in almost all. All, actually.
So with a candidate from the European community, we will not have any problems because this one, it will be the most easy one. But we have also candidates from third world countries that they need the visa. So we apply for another 20 extra visas that they will give us 100%. There is no question about, because otherwise not us in the whole Cyprus, there will not be enough person to cover
the needs,
the request for staff. So the government, they have to give the visas, but until we have the visas, I will see candidates that I want them, but I could not hire them until I have officially the visa. That's another one small problem that we will face.
This is true. I can tell you at the moment that we have quite a few regarding this, and it's important that everyone knows. We have quite a few third country nationals registered. Some of them are already living in Europe, which makes the process a little bit easier because some of them are already long-term residents. But it should make it easier. And we have EURES advisors here who can explain you why it should be made easier.
Because we are bringing a lot of people also from outside. Unfortunately, how I say it, unfortunately, if I tell you the process now, you will not believe me, but I will tell you what's happened because I had it now with a candidate from France. He's Indian. He was working in France. I cannot take him from there here. He had to go back in his country to register with an agent there. And after we can bring him. So it's more difficult and for the staff. Okay, and for us also.
Did he have already 5 years of living in Europe, in France?
No, he was second year in France. If he had,
so he was not a long-term resident, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes,
he was not a long-term resident.
Unfortunately, there are some small things that we have to find out because at the end, they want to work, and we want staff. So we can work also. It's a common.
In our case, you know that unfortunately we're still in this stage in Europe that unfortunately or not, of course, each country has the right to have its own immigration policy, but each country has its own immigration policy. So I'm here. I'm in Portugal. I cannot tell you. If we had someone from Greece or from Cyprus, probably my colleagues could help you, and for sure they will let you know what's the best way to proceed with these people. In our country, for instance, we are now having a new immigration law, and they have even launched a new type of visa which allows job seekers to apply simply for job search, and they can move to Portugal to come to job search. It's not the best way to come because it's not the safest way for the job seeker, of course. But of course, the procedures are still taking more time than we would like to. Okay. But there are some situations, so namely regarding some agreements we have with the countries with which we have a historical connection. For these job seekers, eventually it's easier. So for instance, the Portuguese-speaking countries, it will be probably a bit easier and faster the process than it is for the others. But unfortunately, this depends on each country's policy. But what I can tell you is that during the event day, the agreement between the countries who will be there to support the job seekers and the employers is that we will be having on each country stand some information to refer these people to information regarding these procedures. Okay, it's not an amazing thing, but it's what we can provide you at the moment, because we're not part of the immigration regarding third countries. I mean, we're not part of the process yet, and probably we will never be. So what we can do is to refer them, and we will have information about the visas procedures, and to refer them if they want to come to Cyprus or to Greece or to Portugal or to Italy. Okay.
And also another one new thing that we have now is with the British.
Yeah, the same thing. Yeah.
The
That is
British now,
true.
the British now, they
That's their
need
fault, but anyway.
visa.
Yeah.
That's it. It's like Americans, Australians, they need visa. That's it.
That's it.
Totally.
I can see Margarida has your raised hand. Sorry. And I'm not sure whether there is someone else as well, but please, Margarida, move on.
It
Yeah.
just it's more like the same question about the visa, but just to ask if if we would like to bring someone to Portugal that doesn't have a visa, does EURES help with the documentation, or facilitates by any chance assisting the candidates on getting the documents, help
We
them
inform
how to
them.
procedure?
We can inform them within the event. We can inform them on what he needs to gather in terms of information, because we have access to that information through the in this case, for the visa, it's for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, actually. Ministério dos Negócios Estrangeiros. But we do have information from them, and we try to work as much as possible with them. As you probably know, Margarida, we are having recent negotiations with some countries which are not going very far, because all of the procedures take a long time in terms of immigration. But we are trying to unblock this. So we will do our best, but it's not our competence as EURES and IFP, okay? But we will help in terms of information as much as we can.
Just to confirm, is there any you can facilitate any communication between the legal system or not?
I cannot promise you that openly,
if they
but we will do the best we can.
They have to go through all the same procedures than anyone else, more or less. Okay. Thank you.
But let me get back to you. Let me get back to you on that afterwards.
Please,
okay?
If you can, I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Okay, because it's a very specific situation to Portugal as well. But yes. Does anyone else have further questions?
Melissa Nikos has the question she put on the chat.
Please,
what time we have to be online at Thursday, and where we have to be connected? Is there a link, or simply at event platform?
Okay, Melissa. Melissa's here. Yeah.
Melissa
okay.
Nikos.
Nikos, I suppose either from Greece or from Cyprus. I'm sorry. I'm sorry about but I will show you again in the platform. It's very easy. In order for you to be online, you simply have to log into the platform. Okay, I will show you the screen. So let's imagine we are here. I will log out. Okay, just to show you and again, this is a testing platform, so don't worry about the error messages. And on the event day, you'll get in under europeanjobdays.eu at Seize the Summer 2023, but we will send you the link anyway. We will still send you a newsletter tomorrow, okay? You will click on login. you will get use your username or your email and your password. I'm sorry, my memory is not what it used to be. Let me check. Yes, EURES okay. EURES _ okay, log in. Okay. Sorry. Probably I clicked very quickly. Okay. You see, and in order for you to be online, you will go here to join chat with job seekers, and you click here. Okay. And by getting in here, your company will show up in, if you go to the event page. I'm not sure in which event I got in now, but you will have a tab here, just to explain you, which is saying chat with exhibitors. And if the job seeker is clicking there, your company will show up. Okay, but so that it is foreseeable for the job seeker during which time you will be available, we also advise you to in your profile to decide what time would you like to be there. You're not obliged to be there neither the whole day. You're not obliged to do anything. You were not even obliged to register to this event. The only thing is, I think you would take more advantage of the event if you are there. So if you come here to contact details, you can add here information about the period during which you will be online, and try to consider the Central Europe time zone. Why? Central Europe time zone is the place where you will have more job seekers for this event, because it covers from Spain to almost to Croatia, Slovenia, and Malta. Okay, and to Sweden, Norway, and that whole line, and all of the and many countries as well in the eastern part. So so that you know, and when you close the windows for the Jitsi, that platform we've seen, you will no longer be listed on the chat with exhibitors tab. Okay. And if by any chance you're not having anyone to talk to, and you'd like to take a look at the program, also if you come to the main page of the event, you come here, you will be able, and go to program, you will be able to take a look at the event while you are waiting for a contact. Okay?
Can I disturb for a moment?
Yes. Maybe
Yeah.
I hope it's not very, but of course, yes, you can.
We have appointment because we set up the appointment. So just how I have it, I have appointments from 10 o'clock in the morning until 6 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yes.
So these appointments that I have with candidates, correct? So they know that we have it because I invite them, they accept the timings and everything. So we have set up the times.
Yes. How do they see it? It's your question. Yes, it's very important. The question about time zones. If they log in to the platform, they will see it in their own time zone. So they will understand that your 1 o'clock is, for instance, noon in Spain and is 11 o'clock in Portugal. Do you understand? It's the same time. Simply, of course, we're having different time zones. So he will see that it is his time. It will be 2 hours difference from yours.
Okay, very good.
But he has to be logged in principle. Okay. And this is the way he will see his agenda of interviews. If he has more than one, he will see it in his own time. Okay.
Very good.
And this is also one of the advantages of using the platform. Andreas?
Yes, I want to ask something. The candidates, they're gonna have the option to see all the hotels, or I have to have job description or advertise to choose a hotel?
It depends on what it's your option to start with, but let's imagine you offer very different conditions in the different hotels. It might justify to have 2 different jobs registered, okay? Otherwise, of course, you can use, if you probably saw the description of the job, you even have a field where you have city, where you can as well say, for instance, if you have a group of hotels and you have one in, I would check Limassol, one in Nicosia, one in Athens, one in Lisbon, and so on. Well, in Lisbon, no, but ideally, at least the job should be in the very same country, but I don't think this will be a problem for you. So yes, the job should be within the same country, at least. This would be the ideal situation. Otherwise, they won't, when they are looking for the vacancies for a certain country, they won't see the vacancy that you are promoting. But apart from this, you can eventually describe a generic, let's say a generic profile. And if the conditions you are offering in the different hotels are more or less the same, you can have one single profile for that position. Okay.
Thank you so much.
I hope this is the understanding of my colleagues in your country as well, but I think so. I think it's you. It was you having the hand raised. Anyone else? I can see there is something on the chat. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I will contact Margarida. Yes. If you have no further questions for now, I would leave you. I would maybe thank you for having joined today, and please feel free to come back to us. You can also come back to start with to the EURES advisor who have contacted you and who have invited you for this event. But in case you have a quick question and you don't find it's summer dot. If you want to be fast, you have this email. You can email to. If it's more technical questions about the platform, about the use of the platform, you can send it to us. Otherwise, the ideal situation is to contact the EURES advisors in your country, because they will know a little bit better how to deal with your legislation and with your situation in your country. Okay, but we are here to help, so feel free to contact us, and mostly our EURES advisor colleagues. You have quite a lot of people responsible for Italy. For instance, here you have Massimiliano Melis right in front of you.
Yes.
But we have several colleagues working with different countries with different companies and in different regions. We also have Sabina Riatti, Bernadette, who just left right now. But we have several colleagues responsible for Massimiliano. You know who is responsible for Palazzo Viceconte?
Well, I don't know at the moment, but I could check. Anyway,
Yes.
I could write my email, so she can write to me if you want.
Exactly. Please. Thank you. Thank you, Massimiliano.
Yes, I'll just do it right now.
Grazie mille.
Welcome.
Io non parlo italiano, ma
This is my
yes.
email address. You can write to
And
me.
the other
then
advantage, and the other advantage of speaking with EURES advisors from your country is that they speak your own language as well.
Okay. Yes.
Yes. If there are no further questions, I would really thank you for having joined. We will try to share this recording, which I hope has helped a few of you understand how it's working.